Thanks for joining us. Firefighting efforts continue across northern Saskatchewan with 57 active wildfires burning. The province is currently at 406 wildfires in 2025, above the 5-year average of 333 at the same point in the year. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says efforts have been successful on the muskeg fire near Beauval and that P3 or non-health residents could return home. But the east side of that fire is having an impact near Pine House, and evacuations of non-essential residents could begin today. The SPSA says the Bull Fire has forced a second evacuation of Ramsey Bay, as it's now less than 4 kilometers from the community.
So the fire did move north 2 days ago, and that prompted an evacuation of Ramsey Bay for the second time. Their emergency plan identifies any fire that encroaches within 6 kilometers triggers an evacuation order, and so that happened. We have been working with most of our resources dedicated to some of that in the area, including heavy equipment and crews, to ensure that it does not impact the community, and at this time it has not impacted the community.
As for other evacuations, Roberts says a total of about 3,000 evacuees remains the same, and priorities include protecting structures and limiting the spread towards the community of Ramsey Bay. Stacey, of course, a lot of people keeping an eye on those fires and on the smoke that comes with it.
Yeah, that's certainly been a big weather story of the summer, the air quality, the smoke. In Prince Albert today, the air quality is out at about 10, which is considered high risk. Now, when the air quality is like this, Environment Canada advises people to limit time outdoors, especially if you start coughing or you start to have a sore throat. As for our forecast, we can expect some warm days ahead. If you see on our radar, bit of scattered showers for areas north of Prince Albert, but nowhere near the amount of precipitation that's needed for the area. But I'll have your full weather forecast later in the show.
All right, thanks, Stacey. Prince Albert police are investigating a death that occurred in the city earlier this week. At about 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, police were called to the 1500 block of 5th Avenue East, where they arrived to find a male dead. The Saskatchewan Coroner Service was also called to attend the scene. An autopsy was scheduled for today. Police say more information will be released as it becomes available. The Saskatchewan Internet Child Exploitation Unit has charged a Regina man for making child pornography after receiving a complaint from the Middle East. In a post to social media, the Saskatoon Police Service says it received the call early Monday morning when a man claimed to have joined a randomized online chat room where the suspect was committing an indecent act in a room a young girl was present in. An investigation determined the man to be in Regina, prompting Regina police to raid the home. Officers located the 51-year-old suspect and the girl, arresting the man and charging him with 1 count of making child pornography. Electronic devices were also seized. The investigation continues. Saskatchewan's NDP wants to see a concrete plan for nuclear energy in Saskatchewan. It comes on the heels of the Midwestern Legislative Conference in Saskatoon, where Canadian and U.S. leaders discussed the future of energy with the Premier, saying the province will continue to move forward in growing the nuclear sector.
The public in Saskatchewan is going to have the opportunity to look at that plan, to provide feedback to that plan in the fall. We're tired of waiting. Yeah. Saskatchewan people are tired of waiting. And again, this is too important to leave to press releases and, you know, we are losing opportunity with every minute we don't have a plan.
The government of Saskatchewan responded to the criticism, saying it's been clear in its position to ensure reliable and affordable electricity in Saskatchewan, which includes careful consideration of nuclear power reactors. It adds it's signed multiple MOUs with other provinces to develop small modular reactors. It says it's also established a nuclear subsidiary at Sask Power and narrowed the site selection for the province's potential first nuclear reactor to 2 areas near Estevan. In other news, the province is warning about a scam using the Premier's image to target Saskatchewan people. The Financial and Consumer Affairs Authority says fake social media posts claiming Scott Moe is endorsing online investment platforms are making the rounds. The FCAA says Premier Moe does not endorse or advertise any investment platforms, and people are advised to always verify their investments and seek professional advice before investing their money. A similar scam also uses Prime Minister Carney's image. A controversial concert scheduled for Saskatoon next month is set to go ahead. Sean Foyt is a MAGA-supporting Christian singer and preacher. A number of his Canadian stops on his worship tour have been cancelled. Halifax, Charlottetown, Moncton, Gatineau, Quebec City and Vaughan have either revoked permits or cancelled events outright, citing a clash with community values or concerns about public safety. But today, Saskatoon administration confirmed Foyt's stop at Diefenbaker Park August 21st will proceed.
Currently, there are no public safety concerns that would require the event to be cancelled. However, as with any special event, the situation may change as we get closer to the event. To be clear, allowing an event to occur in public space does not mean the city is endorsing any event or any message of the event organizers.
The Saskatoon Police Service says it's aware of the event and is working with organizers to ensure public safety, noting there are no immediate safety risks associated with the concert. It's officially Saskatoon exhibition season in the Bridge City. Festivities got underway today with a downtown kickoff parade. Chantel Saunders and Jeff Rogstad took part in the CTV entry. The Saskatoon exhibition is celebrating its 140th anniversary this year. It's expanded from its usual 6 days to 8 and features 17 more rides. The Midway opens tomorrow, with the exhibition running July 31st through August 7th. Still to come, keeping a lost art alive, meeting the next group of telegraph operators learning a centuries-old technique. Welcome back. Morse code is a lost art in danger of disappearing forever, but at a Calgary Heritage Museum, a new generation of telegraph operators is emerging. As Kevin Fleming reports, it's one of the only places in North America teaching the craft to teens.
They're two of the 6 junior members of the Morse Telegraph Club at Heritage Park. Sienna Wright says it's easier to send a message in Morse code than to receive and decode one. Her technique is to write down what she hears and then turn the code into letters of the alphabet.
I'm fascinated by the past. I really like learning how things were done and dressing up like the past, so I really enjoy doing this.
Ariane Aubin has memorized the code and says it takes a keen ear to decipher an incoming message. Her sister is a member too, and they practice at home.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I've texted her in Morse code before. I've also tapped between our walls at home, so it's sort of like our own little thing that no one else really understands.
Morse code was invented in the 1840s as a way to send messages quickly over long distances.
The railroads primarily used it to transmit train orders from a dispatcher to, a little station like this. That was the chief reason. They weren't using it all the time, so any extra capacity in the system, it was telegrams.
To get messages to engineers and conductors of a moving train, operators used hoops at the end of a long pole so the train didn't have to stop, a technique still in practice at the park. Marilyn McGuire heads the club and says visitors at the park enjoy seeing their names spelled out in Morse code. She says it's important to teach the craft to the next generation.
It's a dying art. People who did it as a job are in their late 80s, some of them in their 90s. There are a few that have picked it up and learned as their 70s, but this is the only club internationally that has been working with young people.
We have people come in that say their grandparents used to do it, and it's sort of nice for like a newer generation to sort of continue, know a bit of the history.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Interesting stuff. We've got sports coming up after this quick break, including the latest edition of Classic Sports. Stay with me. Stacey Hine in now for a full look at our weather forecast here. And Stacey, anyone that's been outdoors knows that smoke is still heavy out there. Yeah, right now, Blair, smoke and air quality warnings in effect for pretty much most of the province, all the way up to, Patchanack, Buffalo Narrows, up around that region. And it goes down to the southeastern corner of the province. Prince Albert under that, we're considered very high risk right now at 10+ on the air quality index. So
keep in mind, limit your time outdoors. Taking a look at our radar and satellite. Again, this is the system that's kind of responsible for creating a large region of high pressure. So areas in BC, Alberta, experiencing some heat warnings there. We're going to start to notice a significant heat up. Temperatures are already kind of around seasonal, but we're going to start to see a warm up, especially heading into that long weekend. Now we can also see some scattered showers in the region. Laurent seeing some showers, a risk of thunderstorm, but again, nowhere near the amount of rain that's needed, especially around the Prince Albert region, looking pretty dry there. Taking a look at our future cast now. Very moderate winds tomorrow, isobars spaced out, not much for cloud coverage, and again, not much for rain. Some scattered showers, areas north of Prince Albert, but nowhere near the amount of rain needed. Across the region tonight, 11 in Spiritwood, Birch Hills, Nipawin, 12 in Melfort, and cloudy pretty much throughout the region. Tomorrow, sunshine, and it's going to be hot. 28 in Rostern, Birch Hills, Candle Lake, 29 in Nipawin, 27 in Melfort, 28 in Spiritwood. So again, nice summer weather, but right now we really do need that rain. Tonight in Prince Albert, it's going to be clear, but we definitely will notice that smoke in the air. It's going to be a bit hazy, but some very light winds tomorrow. Again, more light winds. A high of 29. Now that air quality is expected to improve at an index of 3, which is considered a low risk. Heading into that week, sunshine for the next 7 days. Friday, sunny, a high of 30. Saturday, a high of 31, mainly sunny. Sunday, a high of 31. And then Monday, the long weekend, Saskatchewan Day, it's also going to be sunny, a high of 28. And those temperatures don't really dip down, Blair. It's still looking, pretty warm throughout. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but what we really do need is some rain. So maybe hopefully when Jeff is back Monday, he'll have a different forecast for you. All right, sounds good. Well, we appreciate having you here, Stacey, and I know a lot of people do like the hot temperatures, but as mentioned, yes, we do need that rain. Big thanks for that. Take a look at sports now. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have added to their already stout defensive line, signing a Canadian D lineman. Deshaun Stevens will join the Green and White after spending time with the Ottawa Redblacks and BC Lions. He has 8 career defensive tackles and 10 special teams tackles. Originally from Toronto, the 28-year-old was drafted 6th overall by the Redblacks in 2021. Riders fans did their part in the fight against hunger. The final total is out for the food drive at last week's Rider home game. Rider fans brought in just shy of 42,000 pounds of food donations as part of Pure Later Tackle Hunger. The donated food will go to the Regina Food Bank. In return for donations, fans could take a photo with the Grey Cup. The Riders sit atop the West Division with a 5-1 record. Their next game is Saturday when they head to Montreal to battle the Alouettes. Kickoff is 5 p.m. on TSN. Sticking with football, the Regina Thunder and Saskatoon Hilltops are getting back into the swing of things with training camps. As Matt Young explains on Classic Sports Moments, the teams make up one of the best football rivalries in Canada, and it goes back decades.
Regina and Saskatoon have a storied junior football rivalry dating back to when teams played on fields where some areas literally looked like a sandlot. Welcome to 1985. 8 tracks are gone, Regina was called the Rams, and we found rare footage of this crazy matchup against the Hilltops at Gordie Howe Bowl in Saskatoon. The Rams came out of the gate early, scoring on their first 2 possessions, but the Hilltops would strike back, courtesy of this touchdown pass to a guy named Tom Sargent. Yes, that's him. The Rams would get an equally nice touchdown, courtesy of this pass from Dean Picton to Justin Hammond, who would flip the ball to Dan Johnston, and the Rams were up by 14 points. But the Hilltops would counter with 3 field goals, and then this interception by Scott Hunseth. He would rumble 37 yards back to the house. The Hilltops would also get a 2-point conversion and led 24-21 at the break. But in the second half, the Rams would get 2 straight touchdowns and retake the lead 35-24. The Hilltops would claw back with this long touchdown pass to pull within just 4 points. But it's the defense that would seal it for the Rams with this Rick Lavoie interception. Regina won a wild game, 38-32. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Wood Finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Turning to hockey, the Saskatoon Blades are turning to a familiar face to help develop their next generation of players. The team has named Jason Becker the club's new player development coach and Canadian Sports School Hockey League scout. The Saskatoon product spent part of his junior career with the Blades and 5 seasons with the U of S Huskies. In addition to his new role with the team, he'll continue to serve as the manager of hockey operations and U15 prep head coach at the Pacific Coast Hockey Academy. The Toronto Blue Jays made their first move ahead of Thursday's trade deadline. It was a bit of an interesting one. The team traded for reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez from the Baltimore Orioles. Normal enough, but the catch is he was traded from Baltimore to Toronto in the middle of a doubleheader between the two teams. So he simply walked to the opposing clubhouse between games, where he threw on his new Jays gear, and then he proceeded to pitch a scoreless inning against his former team. Toronto sent a minor league pitcher to Baltimore in exchange for Dominguez.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Friday, Albertans will not have access to COVID vaccines as the province prepares for the fall rollout, and there are currently no available vaccines for anyone under the age of 12. Albertans over age 12 only have until July 31st to receive Pfizer or Moderna's vaccine at a pharmacy or doctor's office. After that, no jabs administered until mid-October. The province says it's pausing the COVID immunization program and wants to order the vaccine that offers protection against the latest strain. The province previously said eligible Albertans will have to pay for a dose, estimated at about $100. Healthcare workers will also have to pay.
Understand that politically this is not a government that believes in pushing vaccines or incentivizing people to get vaccinated. But if you want medical choice and medical freedom, which this government has spoken a lot about, that should also be paying for vaccines for those who want them or who want them for their children.
The shot will still be available for specific high-risk groups. Another change this season, the province is offering COVID doses in a pre-filled syringe to cut down on waste from vials which weren't always used up on time. New research from UBC is revealing more on the impacts of the province's free birth control policy announced 2 years ago. The study shows more women opted for long-acting birth control methods, including IUDs. As Yasmin Gandam reports, researchers hope it's a call to action for the federal government to step up.
Long-acting birth control methods such as an IUD cost anywhere from $300 to $450. But since April of 2023, an IUD is free.
There was a 49% increase in use of long-acting reversible contraception attributable to this policy change.
New research from UBC found prescriptions for all types of birth control jumped significantly when the province started covering the cost. Among women aged 15 to 49, 11,000 more were prescribed IUDs, which are considered 10 times more effective than other forms of contraception.
This really tells us that costs were indeed a true barrier for British Columbians to use prescription contraception and to select those most effective methods.
She says the findings demonstrate the need for national pharmacare coverage. Last week, the federal health minister said the government would not commit to pharmacare beyond BC, Prince Edward Island, Manitoba, and the Yukon, which Schumer says may lead to some choosing other less effective options or forgoing contraception entirely.
And our findings tell us that this should remain a priority and is essential to improve access to contraception and reproductive autonomy.
Here in Vancouver, local clinics say demand for IUDs is surging.
We just recently had to make a separate phone line specifically for people calling about the long-acting reversible contraceptives.
Dr. Hall is the medical director at Willow Health Centre. She says more providers, including nurses, are able to perform the procedure, and she is optimistic about women's health care in BC.
I think it's going to get better and better for our patients as time goes on, as more people are trained and trained well.
The question remains whether women's health will be as accessible in other parts of the country. Yasmin Gandham, CTV News, Vancouver.
Diabetes Canada is calling on the federal government to restructure the pharmacare program. Under Justin Trudeau, the federal government budgeted $1.5 billion over 5 years for the first phase of pharmacare. It also signed deals with BC, PEI, Manitoba, and Yukon that account for more than 60% of the money set aside. The Carney government is not committing to signing the remaining 9 funding deals, saying it's working with the provinces and territories to support them. Canadian Blood Services is putting a call out for O-negative blood donors. O-negative is the universal blood type, so it can be given to anyone. Canadian Blood Services says only 7% of people in Canada are O-negative. If this is your blood type, Canadian Blood Services asks you to visit blood.ca, use the Give Blood app, or call 1-888-2-DONATE. As they say, Stace, it's in you to give. Now, Saskatoon's Libraries Performers on Parade series runs through Friday, and an artist well known to Saskatchewan music fans is wrapping things up.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Former Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra conductor Eric Petkow, under his alter ego Mr. Eric, is performing his catchy children's songs. Performers on Parade has been running all month long, featuring everything from cultural dancing to storytelling to sing-alongs. Petkow's final performance is Friday morning at Dr. Frida Ahenekeu Library. Stace, see that little blonde there?
Oh, she's so cute. I wonder.
She was there with her. She was there with her dad, which is me, of course.
Oh, okay.
She was a big fan, Aubrey. Yeah.
And I understand she was also at the parade today.
Yeah, keeping busy.
Yep.
Kids aren't in school. Got to find things for them to do.
Well, she's certainly cute.
Stace, I'll give you the final word. Weather-wise, anything you think we should know?
Again, it's going to be warm. We're going to see temperatures in the 30s, especially that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So a great time to head out to the lake. But once again, we need rain.